Hey everyone, and welcome to 121 in Flux. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are talking about movies on this show. I stumbled there for a second, forgive me. But we are talking about a Godzilla movie. We're back to Godzilla for, I think, movie number 12, maybe 13?
Movie number enough, judging by this one.
Hey, it's not as bad as the Clip Show one, I'll say that right off the bat.
Yeah, it's not really a Godzilla film, though, is it?
Well, no, I mean, Jet Jaguar is the
Star of the show.
is star of the show. We'll talk about Jet Jaguar. Don't you worry, that's coming up.
Yeah, which Godzilla movie are we doing?
Yes, Godzilla versus Megalon.
Yes, you never quite got that far.
Yes.
We derailed before the title of the movie.
I thought you were checking what one we were on.
No, I was just
Alright.
leading you in.
Okay. Well, yeah, Godzilla versus Megalon, and we will start spoiler free. Do we usually start spoiler free in these now? I feel like there's almost no point.
I don't know if we do, but we shouldn't.
Okay. In which case, just full spoilers then from the get go, because
You're not missing anything.
yeah, like I feel like there's nothing to spoil beyond some silly moments, and that's what you're here for more than anything else. So, yes, Godzilla vs Megalon is about an inventor who's built a robot, and he's got a little brother who's like a kid, and he's got a friend, and that's the main trio that we have in the film, and they've got a robot, but secret agent spies from an underwater world called Seatopia are trying to steal the robot so they can use the robot to awaken Megalon,
See, this sounds like it should be fantastic.
which they're doing because the world's been doing more nuclear tests and it's been making
Yeah,
cracks.
basically, that they're Atlantis going screw the surface world.
Kind of, yes, it is. Here's the thing, though. See, when it first introduced these, like, this Seatopia, and we get all these people in goofy costumes and all that, I thought, okay, so that's going to be a big thing in the movie. But basically, I actually, by the time they shows them again at the end, when everything's kind of wrapping up, I'd forgotten that was an element.
Yeah, me too.
So it's just really underutilized, given they set it up early on, and then it just kind of like, it doesn't really matter. It was just the reason for things happening.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything with it.
No. Do you know what else is underutilized in this movie? Godzilla. I'm pretty sure they forgot this was supposed to be a Godzilla film till like an hour in, and then they went, "Oh yeah, he should probably show up."
Yep. Which basically happens because once Megalon shows up, the inventor regains control of Jet Jaguar and sends him, who can fly, by the way. This robot can fly, and he sends him to go get Godzilla for help. So the robot flies towards Godzilla and basically leads him back to Japan. And I'm like, okay, why is Godzilla following him though? Does he understand what he's telling him? That there's a crisis, that there's a monster rampaging?
God knows.
And while that's happening, the Megalon's just like fighting laser beams that the army are shooting him with.
Yeah, Megalon's not even that great.
No, Megalon's kind of shit. He's kind of one of the shittiest and laziest designs we've had for a kaiju in one of these movies. However, I do want to point out a fantastic moment. There's a moment, so the spies from Seatopia end up kidnapping the inventor.
That would have been a
brother.
better title for this movie: The Spies from Seatopia.
Yes. And they're in like in a truck. They're in like a truck where you get the big container that can come off the truck. Right, it's one of those kind of adaptable ones. And there's a scene where it's kind of like starting to like tip over the edge of like a cliff right next to a dam. There's a dam just there at the side of it. But the container's about to fall off into the water, and Megalon basically, as it falls, hits it and kind of accidentally saves them because it hits them back up onto the land. But it's like someone punting a ball and it goes flying into the air. They should still be dead because the impact of them landing should have killed them.
The image of it is kind of like, on like a movie where someone jumps out, like you see them jump out of a window,
Yes.
and then there's a trampoline under there, and they spring back up. It's kind of like that.
That is kind of what it looks like. It was kind of ridiculous and whatnot. Not to mention, when they first, because they're actually out for like a picnic by the lake at the start. Which, by the way, the kid's got this really cool floating device. I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly it is.
It's like a little paddle boat almost, but it had like two like smaller things at the side. It looked like something the Penguin might ride into battle with.
Oh man, I want to see the Penguin on one of these.
That's what it looked like. It looked really epic. But there's an earthquake and it makes a big crack in the lake, and that's kind of setting up plot. But they come back to the brother's place, the inventor's place, and they catch spies in there, right? So they actually quickly just sort of like knock the older two guys out and run off. But the kid does try to tackle them. He doesn't get scared. He tries to tackle one of the spies and by grabbing the leg. And I shit you not, the spy kicks the kid in the nuts and does a runner.
It's kind of fantastic moment of the movie.
He does. He kicks the kid in the nuts. And what's funny is like the next like 5-10 minutes are kind of weird. I don't remember much happening beyond them like examining the sand that the spies left behind, because the plot just gets going again when the spies come back.
It's true.
The spies come back.
It's kind of like the writers went, okay, we'll go with this, and they're like,
yeah.
Okay, we don't know where to go from here. Bring the spies back.
The spies come back. They steal Jet Jaguar and the controls for Jet Jaguar, and the friend ends up chasing after them in one of the most silly looking car chases I've ever seen in my life, where they're in these little, you know, this is this came out in 1973, but this feels like a car chase from the 60s, and with the music, the style of car they're using, and then the slapstick element of the cars riding down big flights of stairs.
I'm just gonna say the 70s didn't reach Japan till like 76.
Yeah, maybe, because it's funny. The serious version of this that's done well is like the early Bourne movies, where the car chase going down the stairs. I think it's the second one.
Yeah.
But but here it just looks really silly, and it looks like it's going far too slow to be impactful, or at least the cinematography is just far too wide, and it feels like this just looks silly from this angle because it's just so open, and there's no quick cuts, or there's no adrenaline to it.
Yeah. Can we talk about the downright evil ending?
The evil ending?
Yeah, it's
Are we skipping ahead to the ending?
Oh no, yeah, because this bugged the hell out of me, and I want to get to it. So they established that Jet Jaguar is some form of AI and is thinking for himself, has some form of sentience.
It also can do a little hand movement that'll make him grow into a kaiju-sized robot.
Yeah, no, we'll come back to that. But they establish he has some level of sentience and is, intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets to the end, and it's like, oh, look, I've got control over him again. Go back home.
I have a bigger problem than that. Your problem's at the end, though. My problem's when they first bring this up. Because, basically, he starts acting on his own. After he's been controlled by the bad guys to get Megalon, and then he comes back, he starts acting on his own. And the inventor goes, oh, he's starting to think for himself as a safety protocol. I built that in. You built that in? You just built that in as an add-on? Piss off.
Just casually, yeah.
Piss off.
Yeah. This movie's kind of awful.
Bullshit. It's not the worst one, though. Better than the clip show. It's not. I mean, I like the last one a bit more, for sure. Gigan. Because Gigan does return in this, actually. Same director as the last one. He wanted to bring Gigan back. They like Gigan. So basically, when Megalon's getting his ass kicked a little bit, they call in, they put a call out to space and hope that a monster answers, and Gigan answers. So Gigan comes to help, and then it turns into a tag team match between.
Would have been a bit screwed if Ghidorah had shown up, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's true. But Megalon and Gigan team up, and then when Godzilla shows up to the fight finally, which feels like it takes ages actually, because we know he's on his way. We see him on his way, at the right moment, and then like a lot of time passes where it's just Jet Jaguar fighting Megalon, and then Gigan, and then they start teaming up on him, and then Godzilla shows up, and I shit you not, when Godzilla shows up, Jet Jaguar shakes his hand.
Mm-hmm.
He shakes his hand and thanks him for coming. Which, by the way, the design for Jet Jaguar, his face is creepy.
Yeah, it is.
It looks like the face that wants to murder 6-year-olds. It is creepy as shit. But so then they're fighting the monsters, and the weird thing about it is the fighting style in this one stuck out to me. Has been a bit weird. Now this is before we get to the big silly moment, but even just the way the fighting was continuing, it felt more like boxing compared to normal. Like I feel like Godzilla was like just had his hands up and he was kind of punching and diving and ducking, and
there wasn't much throwing.
It was weird. It was
usually we get a lot of throwing from Godzilla,
and I think Jet Jaguar kind of sucks in a lot of ways, partly because he's just kind of like he's too humanoid. Like obviously they're all guys in suits, right? That's obviously true, but with Jet Jaguar, it did just feel like a guy in a suit because it is just like a human-shaped thing.
No. The problem is it felt like a guy in a cardboard suit as opposed to the rubber suits. What I mean is, the rubber suits of the monsters, they have this texture to them that they're not always great, but they look like suits, right? This feels like someone kind of painted some cardboard boxes.
Well, no, see, it's not even the middle part that's the problem for me. It's the arms and the legs. Because it just feels like sleeves. It feels like someone's in a fabric.
Okay.
And because of that, it feels less like a spectacle. Even they're all guys in suits. I mean, again.
Yeah, but they're not even trying with this one.
Yeah. It feels lackluster compared to everything else.
It does.
But yeah. So the highlight of the fight, believe it or not, is when Jet Jaguar holds up. I think it's Gigan. Or is it Megalon? I can't remember. Whatever one he's holding up. He holds him up for Godzilla, and Godzilla backs up. He backs up, I was going to say 20 feet. It's probably a lot more than that because they're giant, but you know what I mean?
Contextually, 20 feet.
Contextually, 20 feet. And Godzilla does a flying drop kick.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
Jet Jaguar picks whoever it was back up, and then he does it again. And the visual, and this is a gif that I've seen on the internet a lot, but it's the visual of Godzilla. Because he jumps really... It's not like he does a run and then jumps at the last second, because that would be how a normal person does a drop kick. This was your... If he was kicking his legs the whole time, this would be your Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat thing, where he just kind of like, kicks in like all the way across the screen.
Yeah.
But Godzilla, he basically just jumps early and then slides across the ground. And it almost, because his tail's still kind of touching the ground, it almost looks like he's just like sliding on the back of his tail.
It does.
With his legs in the air until he kicks him. But that is definitely the highlight. And then they defeat Megalon, and Gigan basically just says, "You know what? Screw this," and flies off.
You're on your own.
It goes back to space.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. And I know part of these movies, the problem with the human characters is often that they end up just watching the final act play out because they're not part of it, right? They're just watching. And that's something that I thought the last one did a little bit better of. The characters were a bit more... Their plot was a bit more intricate. Whereas this one, there's not really much that they do. Like, the robot gets stolen, and then from there, they're just kind of watching everything play out.
Yeah, they don't do anything all movie. Not really.
Because the last one had the whole, like, they've got my brother captive, they're doing the secret stuff, let's try and investigate them. And then they kind of helped in the final fight. They tried to help Godzilla a little bit. There was a little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
Yeah, there was stuff going on. Gigan wasn't one of the better ones necessarily, but it was solid middle tier, I'd say.
Yeah, it was alright.
Whereas this one,
definitely on the lower end of the scale.
Lower end. I guess it's down to taste. Whether or not you prefer this or the pollution one.
I mean, this one annoyed me less.
Obviously, the clip show one's by far like the worst, and I think there's a debate for Son of Godzilla being kind of in the same conversation.
It's just above these two, though, right? Between this and the pollution one.
Yeah,
Son of Godzilla's just
true.
Above them. Like, there's not that much in it.
Well, maybe I feel like the pollution one though had at least some interesting visuals when when the monster was attacking the city and the pollution. It had some interesting visuals at least in that side of things. Whereas this one doesn't have any interesting visuals outside of the drop kick, which is just stupid.
It is stupid.
So I can't really say much positive about this one. There's not really a whole lot to give it.
It ended.
It did end. That's true. It did end. Next one's Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, which I'm excited for. I've not seen this original Mechagodzilla film, so I'm looking forward to it.
It's a classic one, right?
Here's the thing. It's the same director as this one and the last one. But I think what saves it to a point is that the concept on its own is at least better.
It is.
The idea of a mecha Godzilla is at least going to be visually interesting. It's a new visual thing for the franchise, which is kind of what I was saying there. At least the pollution one had some visuals that were interesting.
It feels like a weird evolution of this movie, though. Like they wanted to introduce the robot stuff.
That's true, yeah.
And people were like, nah, too human. All right, fine. It's too human. Here's a robot Godzilla.
Yes. I'm A-okay with that plan. A-okay. So I'm looking forward to that. This one, it's not the worst, and
it's really boring.
It's pretty boring. It's boring in a... This is going to sound like a weird sentence, but it's boring in a kind of watchable way. Like, I feel like I wasn't watching this with anyone else, but if I was watching it with other people, I feel like it would probably be a lot easier to go down. Like, I actually, the one time I'd seen this before was on Mystery Science Theater 3000, which was a lot more watchable because they were making fun of it the entire time.
Yeah.
And I feel like in that context it works okay because there's enough silliness and stupid character moments and stupid visuals with the car chase looking kind of silly, hitting the container when the guy and the kid are in it, and then a drop kick. There's enough visual stupidity along the way that it can be made fun of in a group of friends, I think, but it is definitely not one like if I'm rewatching my favorites of the franchise,
this is a skip for sure.
This is getting skipped.
Hard skip. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you know what, though? Everyone who complains about the last American Godzilla movie, that, Godzilla, there's not enough of him in there. Go watch this movie. You will see what not much Godzilla really looks like.
Yeah, and at least that film, the entire thing is building up to seeing him. Like, it's just like he's got a presence.
Yeah, this one is just like, oh yeah, Godzilla, go get him.
Yeah, he exists, that's right.
So yeah, Godzilla's name's on the title of this one. It really feels like that. It's just so Godzilla.
So, I don't know if Jet Jaguar comes back. I hope not.
I hope not.
I'll accept a cameo for comedy purposes, maybe.
I will accept him showing up for Mechagodzilla to just crush him instantly, and that is it.
I can see it. But hey, so I guess that's the movie. These Godzilla discussions are getting shorter and shorter with some of these movies.
I feel like when we get out of this era, it'll get...
Yeah, I think we're in a little bit of a slump
because we're
towards the end of this era. They're being kind of silly and goofy with not a whole lot going on for them.
They were in a bit of a creative slump, let's be honest.
Yeah. Who knows, maybe Mechagodzilla
perk it up a little bit.
Perk it back up. So this is definitely the last one of 2018, though, for sure. So
it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's December, so
it is. 2018's nearly done.
Yeah. So we will be back sometime January, maybe February, with Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. So
it may not be the first Godzilla movie that we do next year, though.
Oh yes, because the third Netflix animated one,
believe, is January.
Okay, so that's probably next then.
Yeah,
probably next on a Godzilla lineup, and then there'll probably be 2 or 3 to get done before the King of the Monsters comes out. Which, that second trailer, Ghidorah is freaking huge. All right, so that is Godzilla vs. Megalon, which mercifully comes to a close, and we'll just about be scraping 20 minutes by the time I've done my outro. Before we go, though, we need to rate the film. So, what are you rating Godzilla vs. Megalon?
3.5. Yeah, that'll do.
Sounds about right. I'll go with 4. I think it's the worst thing ever. It's just bad, but it's not the worst thing ever.
It's not. This is the most non-committal rating we've had in a while.
Yeah. 4 and a 3.5. So you're getting a ballpark here. You're getting an area of quality.
Us going, yeah, just don't bother.
Well, pretty much, but still. Yes. There you go. So let us know what you think of Godzilla vs Megalon in the comments. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. It does help a lot. YouTube, uses all that stuff to like pimp us out when people search or whatever. But you can also support us, of course, financially over at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. You get these episodes of In Flux a week early at the $1 tier, as well as some other things, and then you get some voting rights at the $5 tier, and so on and so forth. But have a look and see what's on offer, and if nothing else, it has a handy list of all the different links to all the different shows, all the different audio feeds. Because if you listen to the audio feed, Mail Fuzz Movies, which has Influx, Gigawatts, and Overload on it, Overload, that damn movie, Overlord, it's too similar.
They should never have made it.
Well, no, they should have, because it was really good, but it's just called it something different. Call it, I don't know, Blitzkrieg 5000, I don't know. The point being,
I'd watch that sooner than I'd watch Overlord.
The point being is that you can get the Screams After Midnight horror movie podcast audio feed, there's TV audio feeds, comic books, all that kind of thing. Have a look. But that's us. So get us on Twitter at mail_fuzz for channel updates, and keep watching movies. Thank you very much once again, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.